inspirational and motivational here at Clubhouse. Get a better mindset and set your goals here at Clubhouse. Educational things you need to know here at Clubhouse. Like credit, home, buying, loans, and much more here at Clubhouse. The space for education, motivation, and inspiration. Clubhouse. The space for education, motivation, and inspiration. Clubhouse.
Hey, everybody! How y'all doing? Welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse. My name is Jessie Lynn. I am a triangle realtor with A-to-Z. Miss Nicole Crawford, introduce yourself, honey.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Crawford. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty, servicing the Greensboro Triad area.
Awesome. We got our Facebook users. They are ready for our conversation. Today, we are talking about buying your first home. Facebook users, whenever y'all decide to drop a comment, make sure y'all click on the link at the top so we can see who we are talking to, because all we know is you are a Facebook user. But welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse, where we go live every Wednesday and every Friday. On Wednesdays, we give something inspirational, and on Fridays, we give something educational. All right, y'all, let's get this conversation started. So before we get started, we are always talking about visualization and all this other stuff. So before we start talking about choosing your first home and buying your first home, let's talk about visualizing and picturing your first home.
Yes.
What do you want in your first home, honey? Where do you want your first home? What kind of shutters do you want in your property? Do you want a big yard? Do you want a small yard? Do you want a big kitchen? Do you want a small kitchen? What do you want? So that's what we're talking about, because guess what? We're always talking about vision boards. We're always talking about writing down your goals and your dreams. Let's talk about this house that you want, because that's our goal at the end of the day. Hey, Samantha girl, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, don't come in here with that low energy. I'm sorry. We don't like low energy around here. We feeling good. It's Friday, honey.
I'm feeling good.
Get it together.
I'm feeling good too, you guys. It's just not. But yes, I'm excited to be here. I'm hanging out with y'all, thinking about what I want in my first house and shutters and all that. And I have never thought about none of that stuff that you're talking about.
There you go. So we talked about this before, honey. You got to write down what you want. You got to write down where you want your house to be. You got to talk about how many bedrooms you want, what color you want. You got to picture that thing, honey. So that's what we're going to talk about. But before we get started, though, so let's choosing your first home. There are some things that you want to consider whenever you decide to choose your first home. You want to think about the rates. What kind of rates are going on right now? You want to conduct some investigations. How much are other owners paying for their home? This is the chance. This is the time you ask your family members for some advice, just a little bit, not after you start the process. How much are they paying every month, and what can you afford? What types of houses are you going for, and the credit rating, and how much you need to pay back. So let's talk about some of these things before we go into the other things. So Samantha, you are the lender of the group, What are the rates right now?
I seen rates dip a little bit yesterday, so I was pretty excited. I seen about lower 7s with no discount points for like 640. So I felt like that was a lot better than what was given in December. Because to get like a 6.75, you had to pay like 1 or 2 discount points. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
Awesome. So let's just say, off the top of your head, if somebody decides to get a home right now, let's say about average price around $370, $350, somewhere in that area, how much would their payments be? 30-year mortgage.
Depending on the taxes, of course, and insurance.
I'm
thinking about
Not exact, just a guesstimate.
Like between like 2,400 and 3,200, somewhere in there. I'm thinking something like that, depending on the city and stuff. So I'm thinking large taxes.
Awesome. So before we go into like the investigations, do y'all got any advice that y'all want to give them about the rates right now? Because we know about the rates. So let's talk about the rates.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Obviously, I'm one of the only people in the group that does not own their own home. But I would say if it's something that you want, you feel comfortable with, and it's an area that you know that you want to live in or be in that's growing, the interest rate is not going to be a massive deal for you, because if the area is growing, your equity will be growing, and therefore you can always refinance. And there's a lot of programs like the state employees that does 100% financing, and their refinance rates are kind of low. So you can look at getting something right now, even if it's not in your most favorable interest rate, and then know that you would gain equity in a short amount of time, and you can refinance into a lower rate. That's what I would have to say to somebody.
Yes, there you go. Nicole, did she leave anything on the bone for you, girl?
Hey, that's because pretty much that's what we say. We marry the house, we date the rate, because you can always refinance.
Yes, that was well put, Samantha.
That's right.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about this. So we just talked about what are other owners, Nicole, last year owners paying? What are they paying for about a house for about $370? Because we want to compare and contrast, because we don't want people to say, you know what, I don't, because my cousin is paying only $1,100, but I got to pay $2,400. So let's talk about that. What are last year buyers paying?
So last year buyers, if we were looking at that 350, that's range that Samantha was giving us, they were down below that $2,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
But that interest rate plays a big part in that rise, and of course taking in consideration the taxes and all that stuff that was going on.
Definitely. So okay, so now that we've talked about the rates and different things like that, so let's go all the way back to the type of house you're looking for. Actually, let's talk about credit. Let's talk about credit before we go into the house, y'all. So let's talk about the credit ratings and your paycheck. And Samantha, it's good you're here also, and Nicole, same thing. So all right, so credit ratings and paycheck, how do they go hand in hand? Why do they need to think about that?
Well, first and foremost, people who have lower credit scores typically pay more interest than other people. Even when it comes to insurance, it comes to buying the house, on their other stuff, cars and all that stuff. So it's something you definitely want to clean up if you can. I would always suggest that you do, because if you're paying 20% interest on your car, that is a lot of interest, and you can redirect those funds somewhere else, maybe your house or somewhere else, is what I would have to say when it comes to credit. But don't let your not perfect credit score deter you.
Exactly. Nicole, you got anything you want to add to that? Audience, while Nicole is talking, I want y'all to drop one thing that you want on your house. What are you seeing for your next house? Drop it in the box below. This is to the audience. What do you want for your next house? What is the must-have that you got to have on your house? All right, Nicole.
Just like what Samantha was saying, we definitely want to clean up our credit and try to save as much as you can out of that paycheck. A lot of times when we have poor credit, we have poor habits, which means that a lot of times we're spending more money out of our paycheck or living paycheck to paycheck, and there's no room for savings. And if we look at it, there's always usually an opportunity for us to decrease what we're spending out. So I would definitely say looking at those habits that we need to correct how we're spending our paycheck so that we can save more money and correct the credit.
There you have it.
I have one more tidbit to that. So you won't be surprised. So if you are paying $1,200 in rent and you might go to $1,500 in mortgage, you won't get such a shocker if you started saving and started paying attention to your budget. Like Nicole said, get them habits in line.
There you go. So, and have we discussed the paycheck yet? Why that's important? The DTI, the debt to income ratio. Have we discussed why they need to look at their paycheck? All right. Why is their paycheck important?
Because we use your income to qualify for your house.
Why?
So
we know that.
So if we suppose you make $3,000 a month, you can't have $2,500 worth of debts coming out every single month, because you would then not qualify for a home, because most of the time, especially if you're doing down payment assistance, we like to see that number under 43% for your back end. So if you're not, you basically push yourself out of free money and make it twice as harder for you to be able to gain what you could have gained in a shorter period of time. Hopefully.
Okay. So why else is the paycheck important? What else is important? I know one more thing. What's important about the paycheck and this job this person is working on?
It has to be consistent. Is that what you're saying?
That too. Don't they need to be in the same industry for a certain amount of time as well?
I beg to differ. I'm going to say, if you have a job, especially people who don't make lots of money typically grow. So if you are at, let's say you work at a bank, you work at state employees, and you've been working there 3 years, and BB&T is going to offer you an increase.
That's the same industry.
Or even if it's not in the same industry, typically if it's a W-2 to W-2, you can go ahead and make that switch. It doesn't have to be in the same industry.
Okay.
Yes. But if you want to switch industries and you're going from W-2 to W-2, you would be fine. If you are switching, you want to be a plumber tomorrow and you get paid $10.99, no, you don't want to do that.
Okay. Nicole, you had any issues with people getting approved switching industries? Because I have.
Well, I used to, but not so much as I like before. I think a lot of times they've gotten really savvy at being able to fill the gap on those and not leaving those big gaps in between employers. And a lot of times what I've seen is, as long as there's some kind of, it looks like you did an increase in pay, or it was definitely a better opportunity, then it seems to make sense. But a lot of times if somebody leaves one job and they're unemployed for a few months or a year, and then they get into a different industry, we tend to have a big problem. Or like Samantha said, going from that W-2 to that 1099 will kill us every time.
And please tell everybody what 1099 is.
That means that you are now considered self-employed if you're a what they consider a contractor for a company or anything like that. Yep.
Yes. So, all right. So let's talk about it, y'all. So let's talk about it. So we have a Facebook user. Drop your name below. They said that they are looking for a large kitchen. They love to cook, apparently. I don't need no large kitchen because I don't like to cook. It's more to clean. That's what I say. They need a large kitchen, but a kitchen is beautiful. Everybody love the kitchen. The kitchen in the master bedroom. So what's a must have on your next dream home? All right. So one thing that the next thing that I want to talk about is, some people, you want to consider the neighborhood. And what a lot of us don't understand is, in real estate, we cannot tell you about the crime rates in neighborhoods. We can't take you to certain neighborhoods unless you say, I only want a house in this neighborhood, but we can't point out any neighborhoods. So what you really need to understand is, just don't be focused on the house alone and forget about the neighborhood. And I'm going to explain to you why it's important, because if you are thinking about investing in this home, buying a home is a long-term investment as well. So some things that you want to do is, you want to talk to the neighbors. Ask them about the neighborhood and the things that you may want to know about in that neighborhood, like the neighbors. We don't want these bad neighbors, because I'm telling you. Ask them about the neighbors. Ask them about the HOA. That's something that we can answer. We can answer that, or whatever. Parking, different things like that. We can answer those things, but there are certain questions that we can't answer for you. Okay. Some stuff. Hey, Sonya girl, how you doing? All right. So you want to do your research, and we're going to talk about this. Do your own research. We can't talk about for anything that's related to fair housing. So do your research. You have certain neighborhoods. I can't even talk. You have certain apps that will help you about I can't get it out, girl. Dang. We have certain apps that will help you research crime. We have certain apps that will help you research certain things that goes on in that neighborhood. Okay. It's an app that's called Neighborhood Scouts. It's an app that's called Area Vibes. Is Samantha back? Did I see her pop back? She can. Oh no, she can't. We have an app that's called Family Watchdog, and you can also go to your local police websites, and you can also go to FBI.gov. Nicole, there are some more websites too, right? I couldn't find all my websites. I couldn't find my notes because I had a few of them. Do you have any you want to add to that list?
I don't. I think the ones that I normally would recommend are ones that you said, but the biggest thing is finding those ones that are local for the sex offenders and the crime rates and things like that. So I know that we can always use our local police department's website to be able to get those statistics and see what kind of calls they're going out on.
Yeah, but one thing about that is we can't always look at the numbers and just assume certain things, because of the crime numbers or different things like that, because it could be any kind of crime, okay? But still do your research. But yeah, and as a realtor, we can't say, because some people say, I don't want to move to the hood. Like, what's the hood? Is neighborhood? Like, what is that? But for one, I can't point you into any direction. I can't, unless you say, I want to go to this zip code and to this subdivision, but I can't say this is the hood and this is not the hood because I don't know what you mean. I'm telling you. And off the record, I don't want to hear that because I don't do off the record. I'm sorry. I'm not about to lose my license. No, thank you. Okay. Another thing about the neighborhood that you want to check is you want to drive through that neighborhood at certain times at different hours, because certain things that you're looking for, you may not like in the morning. You may not like it in the evening. Is it too much traffic going through that neighborhood? My neighborhood, let me tell you, honey, let me tell you about my neighborhood. Because one time my sisters lived out there before I did. And the end that I live on, I won't even about to move out there. I wasn't. It was just too, it was like people parked on the side of the street. And it's just like, but they changed it by the time I got ready to move out there, because I'm telling you, it was just so many cars, and it was just like, because our driveways are short on my end or whatever, and it was just cars parked on the side of the street, and I used to hate it. So especially in the evenings when everybody's getting off of work, and it's just crazy. Somebody said when it rains. Who's that? But yeah, y'all got anything y'all want to add? Because I'm about to say some more stuff. No,
I was gonna say I would encourage people to look at neighborhoods that you probably would take off your list, because the market changed. A lot of neighborhoods that you think you wouldn't live in are really truly changing, because now a lot of people can't afford to stay in their own neighborhood. So that has definitely changed the whole scope of what a neighborhood looks like and feels like. So it might be investigating those neighborhoods that you probably say, maybe I don't think I would want to stay there, but it might be worth it looking into.
Yeah. And another thing you want to add to that is, what about your commute to work and to school? Different hours of the day. Because I had my first buyers, so proud of them. My first sale ever. That's what they were doing. They wanted to see, how far is this from work? How bad is the traffic whenever I drive there? So that was some of the things that they did. So just do it different times of the day. You never know, but they've changed Google Maps and different things now, so you can just type in different times on your phone and just get an idea of what it is. But just drive, take the commute, and see if it's something that you want to do. Sam, you got anything you want to add?
I think I did. I went to an event where they were talking about new construction or new roads or planning. Like, be aware of what's going on. If they plan on widening the road, putting 540 in your backyard, you want to be aware. Like, talk to your realtor, make sure you understand what's going on, because you might think you're building long term and this is a small 1-lane road, and then they plan on making it 3 lanes before you even know it. And do you want to live there while all that is going on?
That's a good tip. Yes, that's a really good tip. So we talked about the commute. Buying a home near restaurants. You got a lot of people, they want to buy a house near restaurants and shopping centers, but are you okay with that traffic? Are you okay with the traffic? I don't like traffic. I like people, but I don't want them in my space. I'm sorry. I live here. I don't want you in my area. You know what I'm saying? So don't be, I'm just saying, do you like a lot of cars driving through your neighborhood? I'm just saying. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add?
That is true. I thought about 42, like Highway 42.
I was gonna say that's a good one.
All of that work, all the neighborhoods, waterfront, like taxes is going up, everything is going up.
Oh, 40. 40, which one? 42 or 4042?
42, just Highway 42, like Flowers Plantation.
Oh,
Just
Flowers
like,
Plantation, they're building a huge neighborhood over there, but they're fixing the roads. And then 4042 is the same way. So either way, it's crazy. I'm just saying. So they're fixing the roads though. So like you said, check the maps to see, are they going to build? And a lot of people don't know this. I do this sometimes as a real estate agent. You can go to your city's planning department and you can see what's coming. You can always see if there's any new construction, if there are different things that's coming to the neighborhood. You can check that, because a lot of people on our website, our county website, a lot of people are complaining because they're constantly building. I live in Clayton. If y'all don't know, Clayton is like one of the fastest growing cities going on right now around us in the triangle, right? So they're complaining because we're always with increasing stuff. We got to reduce something. We got to do this. We got to do that. Why? Because we're growing so fast and they can't really keep up. So those are some things that you want to do, and make sure you attend meetings. If you're thinking about going to a different city, go just do your research, period. Do your research. All right, y'all got anything y'all want to add before I move on?
No, maybe schools, because like school crowding is going to be an issue too if they're growing rapidly like Clayton's. Like you went from 15 kids in class to 30 kids. Like, are you comfortable with that? That's my thing.
Do your research. There you go. Are they building new schools? Although they are building new schools around us, but is that what they're doing? And you need to know where to go to find this stuff. Planning department. Okay. All right. So home type. What kind of home do you want? You just want a house? I mean, what kind of home do you want? So this is something that you need to consider. Are you okay with the fixer upper? What lenders handle fixer uppers? Are you getting a renovation loan? Do you have a VA loan? What are you doing? What types of loans should you get if you are considering a fixer upper? Because I have seen situations, just went through that situation recently or whatever. You definitely want to, please listen to your realtor recommendations. I'm telling y'all some advice from me, but you got some people who don't. But you do have some lenders that don't allow certain things when it goes through underwriting. You really don't. So you need to know the types of loans up front, the underwriting process up front. Like, you have plans to fix it later on, but are they going to allow that property to get the clear to close or go past the appraisal or the inspections? Well, not going to say inspection, the appraisal or whatever, without certain things being done. And do you have a plan for that? Y'all want to come in?
Yes, that is definitely something to take into consideration. Go ahead, Nicole. I'm sorry. I come on here just talking away. Go ahead.
No,
y'all.
go ahead.
I was going to say, like, that's something you would want to talk to your lender about up front. Like, hey, I think that I might want a fixer upper, because not everybody do 203K loans, or you may not qualify for the home style renovation loans. You may not, whatever it is needed, you would want to know ahead of time, because once you get under contract, it's a little too late to want to get it closed in 30 days or 45 days. Some of those processes take a long time. You have to interview contractors. So you would definitely want to jumpstart that process before you say, hey, I like this house and I'm going to fix it. That's definitely required or recommended. If you don't, then you're just going to risk losing your money because you may have to go past closing.
Boy, oh boy. Nicole, got anything you want to add, girl?
I was just going to say, know your level of fixer upper. Everybody, when we say that, a lot of people think that they are so willing to do things, but I know so many of us that have projects right now in our house that we have not touched. So if you know you're not a painter, or you're not crafty, or you're not really a person that is going to fix that house once you get in there, that may not be the house that you want. Because I hear it all the time. I'm willing to take fixer up, and then we go look for something. They're like, yeah, this is a little bit too much work. Then you probably don't want a fixer upper, because most houses, that are existing homes will need a little cosmetic work. But if you're not willing to do, or if something that's big, we probably don't want that.
But wait, because you said the magic word though. You said rewind. You said cosmetic work. A lot of people can't look past the cosmetic work a lot of the times. Sometimes you just need a paint job and maybe some carpet. Like, You know, you gotta
That's
look
it.
past that stuff, especially if you can't afford it or whatever. So sometimes you have to go that way. But I'm with you when it comes to all that big stuff. You know, this AC is broken. You know that you gotta fix some stuff, like fix some stuff, not just the regular maintenance. Yeah.
Fix.
So take
Mhm.
it all into consideration. And one
Okay.
thing that I do want to add to that, and I think I have it written down, just make sure that you guys are not and yes, I agree. Hold on, let's see. Somebody said, and yes, I agree. It does take forever depending on the lender. Exactly. Who's that Facebook user? Drop your
Ricky
name in the box
Mills.
below. It's
Ricky
who?
Mills. Ricky
Oh,
RIQI Mills.
Joel. Yeah, okay, cool. So, all right. So what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. But either way, all right. So let's talk about your must-haves. Let's talk about your must-haves that you gotta have in this property. Somebody said a large kitchen, which is great. Kitchen is everything. Do you need counter space? Do you have to have a kitchen? Do you need a garage? Do you need closet space? Because sometimes you get these houses and there's no closet space. Will your furniture fit? But can we fix that or whatever? And then you got to have this mountain view. You got to be on the beach or the ocean view or stuff like that. Although we're in triangle area, but what do you want? What do you got to have? And are some of those things negotiable? That's the question that you may want to ask yourself. Y'all want to add anything before I go on to the next thing?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, and if
I
you
was
got to
gonna
have
say
that
know
stainless
your
steel fridge,
know how much space you need.
know how much what?
I was gonna say know how much space you need, because even though you say, "Hey, I need a house that's 2,000 square feet," not every house at 2,000 square feet is gonna feel the same. It's not gonna have the same
Mm-hmm.
floor plan. So kind of know what flows better for you and your family.
And the way to do that is you guys go to these open houses. Go to the open houses and see how does this layout feel, because a lot of these houses, they're built the same most of the time. So just go there and write this down. Is this a 1 story or story and a half? Is this a 2 story? Like you said, because sometimes a 1,600 foot ranch will feel huge compared to a 1,600 foot 2 story, because you cut that
Mhm.
in half on one level. So it just depends on
You
the
got it.
layout of the property. I remember my client, she said, I gotta have a 1,600 square foot home, blah, 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 at least minimum. And it gotta have a garage. First house we saw, 1,200 square feet, no garage. She took it. So I'm just saying, just go through these houses and feel for them. Cause you never know. You
Mhm.
may have to adjust. That stainless steel
You got
fridge,
it.
are you
You
do you
got it.
have kids?
You got
Are
it.
you going to be okay with wiping that fridge off? Are you going to be okay with that? Your renovation value, definitely. I said this before. Just make sure that you're not renovating too much and you're not spending too much money, because when it's time for you to move later on, if it don't meet the value of the neighborhood, you're cheating yourself. So take that into consideration as well. And that jacuzzi that you got to have that nobody ever used ever. And also, you need to carry your list with you. So whenever you make this list and you write this list down, carry that list with you whenever you go see these houses. Okay. And one last thing, whenever you go to these properties, try out every toilet, not use it, but try it out. Turn on the water and the sinks and the shower. Check the electrical outlets if you can. If there are too many little problems, just imagine how many big problems you're going to have. And Nicole said that earlier. So just look at the minor things and kind of compare those things. Somebody's saying something.
Strongly recommend negotiating with the seller to pay 1 year home warranty at closing.
Amen. Definitely. That's only like $600 right there, maybe $7. Depends on the market. It didn't changed. So I agree with that. I do. Is that Mr. Mills again?
It is.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Audience, do y'all have any questions for us, Nicole and Samantha? Y'all got anything y'all want to add?
No, just I would just say look into what your real needs are, because we think we need a
No.
lot of stuff. We think we can do the impossible. We think we're going to become misfits it overnight. We're probably not going to just develop into that person one day, and just do what you can where you can at this current moment is what I have to say.
Exactly. Nicole?
I
Okay.
was gonna say when it comes to choosing your home, just really you've walked through plenty of houses, from your neighbors' houses to your family members. Look at those things that you know that you need. Start with your
Mm-hmm.
needs and then work in your wants. And if your budget allows, then you can get the extra stuff, because there's things that I know clients ask for all the time that I already know that when they fall in love with the right house, pretty much their wish list doesn't even exist.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And this is why it's so important for you guys to go out and get a feel of these properties. Because I'm telling you, everything ain't what it seems on paper. You can look at these photos. Y'all know the house looks so good in the photos. That's our job. But then you get there, it looks different. But what we're talking about right now is look past the cosmetic stuff. Just go visit these properties and just get a good feel of it. See what type of layout you want. See what you want and what you don't want. Period. But I always tell my clients anyway, let's go out, let's look at these properties right here. We'll look at these, and then we'll talk about your wants, your likes and your dislikes, your pros and your cons. What did you like about this house? What didn't you like about this house? What do you know? And then compare them. And then let's go from there. All right. That's it, y'all. Was that it?
That's it.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, my name is Jessie Lynn. I am a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty. You can reach me at 919-818-9854. Miss Nicole.
I am Nicole Crawford. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. I service in the Greensboro Triad area. I can always be reached on my cell, which is 336-457-3007.
Samantha.
I am Samantha Harding. I am a loan officer with Mortgage Solutions Financials. You can reach me at 919-374-0260 and in the clubhouse.
Y'all can reach all of us in the clubhouse at www.thehomebuyersclubhouse.com. You can find us on Facebook in our page and on our group at Homebuyers Clubhouse. You can find us on YouTube at The Homebuyers Clubhouse. We hope you guys have an awesome weekend. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Y'all have an awesome day. Bye-bye. Wait. Wrong button.